And welcome to another edition of Access Sports Live here on AccessWDUN.com and on our Twitter page at WDUN Sports. And, hey, we're talking marching band here with Larry Miller, Gainesville High School, Big Red Machine band director. And, Larry, you know, for me, I equate marching band and high school football as one because you got to have both to have a great atmosphere for a great game. And welcome to the show today.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is my 20th year at Gainesville High School. And so we've been here for all of the championship runs. And, what's so amazing about Gainesville High School football is the community atmosphere. Like you said, it's an event. Every Friday night is a community event. And that's what makes it so great. So just like the football coaches, but just like the football coaches, we'll figure it out,
Well, you are figuring some things out this week. You're going to have the Zoom meetings. Anybody that wants to try out for marching band, you're going to have your kind of pre-spring break meetings. And do you think, I know you and I talked on Facebook earlier today, that this could potentially turn into an online audition at some point, maybe?
Oh, I think it's a definite possibility. So much is up in the air. This is the time of year when everybody is doing preparations for next year. We've gotten past all of our concerts and those kind of things, and it's all about recruiting for next year. Just like an athlete, they're doing their physical training to get there. We're trying to get the younger kids up to speed and get everybody on board. The past couple of years, we've had north of 220, 230 kids, and we got to get all that organized and ready before what normally would be the end of school, whenever that may be, however that looks now, so that, hopefully everything is good in the fall and off we go. Everybody starts in the summer, so we got to be ready to go. We can't wait till they have it happen. So the online thing is really been a great resource for us.
So let's go through that. I know you've probably looked into it. We've seen all over social media, a lot of these, I think UGA's marching band put something out, just
right.
a Zoom, I think it was a Zoom band, a virtual marching band where they were playing some of the Georgia Fight songs. So we've seen that happen. Is that something that, could come out of this with you guys trying to, fill some open spots in your auditions where you actually have the Zoom audition?
Yeah, I think that's a real possibility. I was talking with the guard instructor, the girls who do the flags, and the percussion instructor earlier today, and there's no reason we can't do it this way. It usually takes us about 5.5 to 6 weeks to do everything, from drum majors to drums to guard, whatever it is. And we're going to have to consolidate that down. And no matter when we go back, we don't have that amount of time. So we've got to do something starting right now. So leading into spring break, we're just trying to get everybody's attention and do recruiting, get the word out. Obviously, it worked since you heard about it, and then hopefully we can get those bodies. We don't want to do a straight technology-driven audition because there'll be some kids that don't have access to that. Yeah. So if that's the case, we'll figure that out when we can get them physically back with us. But if we can knock out the majority of it right now, doing it this way, really, why not?
All right. Well, across the marching band landscape at this moment, do you feel like some of the other schools around Northeast Georgia may go do the same thing, or maybe they are doing the same thing as you? Have you heard?
Yeah, I think there are some people, closer to Atlanta, they're more technologically driven, just top to bottom, that I think we'll see a lot of this. It is certainly within my circle of friends, jump-started conversation. Oh, well, that's a great idea. I hadn't thought about that. We need to look into that, those kind of things. So I think just like everybody, we're all figuring this out a step at a time. And I've seen lots of great ideas, creative ideas that other people are doing, and I've, going to take those and apply those to us. This is just one that I threw out there, and it seems to be getting some traction, getting some movement forward. And no matter what, it's how we're going to do it. So, I want it to be a positive for our kids.
Oh, yeah. Well, so speaking of your kids and speaking of, everything else, how are you handling this shutdown?
Oh, it's not the perfect situation by any means, but I have been amazed by the teachers that I have seen from the Gainesville City schools who have stepped up and just, are knocking it out of the park. I've got a first grader at home, and her teacher is just phenomenal. And she is Skyping with these kids, and she's letting them use Zoom conferences. And, they're first graders. They're getting on and waving to each other and saying hey to each other. And as a parent, I can really appreciate that because we can tell the difference in our first grader when she gets off those. Her life for that little minute of time has been back to normal.
Oh, yeah.
And it just kind of calms everything down, let her catch her breath, and then we'll go back to, mommy-driven instruction, trying to get her math facts done, that kind of stuff. And I think lots of families are seeing that. Lots of people know exactly what that's like now. And, boy, it's tough. But I have just been blown away by the response of the teachers in the Gainesville City school system. They have just really stepped up to the plate, and they're going above and beyond because, they know they not only want to teach the kids, they love the best of the kids. And, teaching's a calling, and I think that's really bringing this to the forefront. I've been amazed at how much we've all been reminded how much the schools are kind of at the center of our community, with the school district feeding our kids, running buses and feeding kids and, trying to get the distance learning involved. And it's just nothing. A month ago, none of this was on anybody's radar. No. We were just doing what it is that we do, how it is we've always done it. And the whole thing has changed now.
Well, with the changes, do you think that maybe some, with this online learning, do you think maybe in the future this will bring something positive out of the online learning for the school systems?
I think so. I think we're seeing it already. We, knowing with 48 hours worth of notice, we knew that we were going to be distance learning somehow, some way for a period of time. I don't think anybody at that point knew that it'd be as long as it has been, much less as long as it's going to be. But immediately our technology team got to work and our administrators got to work and provided us with tools that we had not en masse had at our disposal, up to then. The whole Zoom conference idea, there were teachers that were doing it, but they were pretty much doing it independently. Then all of a sudden we all have access to that, to reach out to our kids, create a classroom online, and do the meetings the day in, day out meetings that teachers have to do related to, student progress or testing or whatever it is. We're doing those via Zoom right now, and it's just super convenient. I mean, the technology's been there. We just haven't necessarily embraced it the way that we probably should have. And this is going to be a definite change in the learning curve for the teachers and for the positive, I think.
All right, so I've asked a lot of the coaches and other folks that I've interviewed, what is your favorite takeout? Because we all know, restaurants are shut down, but there's still some takeout out there. What's your favorite go-to?
I love that thing that's floating around on social media. We actually have it hanging up on our refrigerator. All the local in Gainesville restaurants, whoever. But, I have a hard and fast rule about food is I like it. I try to get a lot of it. And so I would say any of them would be my answer. There are some you can't go wrong with, but I wouldn't turn down any.
Well, same here for me. But all right, so social distancing, how is that working out for you? Any tips for any folks out there?
I bet there are a lot of people doing it way better than me.
Yeah.
Because I get cabin fever in a heartbeat. I miss the kids I get to work with every day. I miss, what we do is outside. It's moving around. It's physical. It's whatever. And, I miss that right now. I love having the extra time with my family. Don't get me wrong. That's great. Yeah. But, when what we do is so much a part of who we are, I kind of feel like I'm missing part of that right now.
Yeah. Well, hey, I appreciate you taking a little time out of your schedule to talk with me today, and good luck with the Zoom meetings on Friday, and good luck with the auditions. Hopefully this will go away and you'll actually get to do them in person.
Well, thanks, Bo. All I need from you is a good Go Big Red now.
There you go. Go Big Red.
That's it. All right, buddy.
All right, man.
I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Gainesville Band Director Larry Miller on with us today, as they're going to have some meetings coming up on Zoom. That's on Friday. You can check those out. I think 9 o'clock for anybody that wants to try out for the schedule. I think is on Larry's Facebook page and probably the Gainesville Marching Band Facebook page. You can check that schedule out. But until then, have a great rest of your week, everyone.